Hey, it's Ronan Segal, your accordion teacher. I've had the pleasure of playing this beautiful chromatic accordion for the last 5 days, but I have to give it back this weekend. And so I thought I would share with you my experience of being a piano player, piano accordion player, and playing a new instrument. I'll tell you what I loved about it, what I didn't love about it so much. Really, I loved everything about it. And some of the key takeaways that I have to share with you about learning a new instrument, an instrument that's familiar and yet so unfamiliar. I borrowed this accordion from Martin at Tempo Trend Music. Thank you, Martin. I'll leave a link in the description. This instrument is for sale if you're looking for one. I'll start with the disadvantages. The disadvantages are that these instruments in North America are hard to find. They're hard to find used and new. Doing a Facebook Marketplace search, no chromatic accordions come up. Lots of piano accordions for good, inexpensive prices, no chromatic accordions. It's also more difficult to find learning resources for a chromatic accordion. This is a C system chromatic accordion. There are also B system accordions. It's harder to find resources. A bit easier now in the year 2023, going very close to 2024 to find online communities, but much more difficult than piano accordion, which is kind of the prevalent one. I think those are about the only disadvantages of the chromatic accordion. The advantages: it was very easy to play trills. Trills are easy on the piano accordion as well. I have a keyboard here, which is why I keep pointing here. But trills of just like those little da-da-da-da, that's easier to play on the chromatic accordion. One of the advantages is that all the keys are quite close together. If you have smaller hands, here's an octave. My hand can play 2 octaves quite easily. So, within a very small keyboard, comparatively, to fit this many keys on a piano keyboard, the keyboard would be from down here to up here. On a chromatic accordion, this distance of a da-da-da, it's this. It's quite small versus a piano, which is this, a piano accordion. Even the width of the keys that are smaller. So this makes it easier to play for those of you with small hands, and it makes it easier to do these types of really quick runs, even on a C system accordion, which is really, really nice. It makes that kind of ornamentation in playing easier to achieve earlier on. I just have a little list. I love the small form factor. Now, some of my experience. This was so much fun to learn. I've been in my mind and in my body. I have a piano etched in my mind and body. You ask me to do a D major, my hand goes here. I could do the D major scale, triads, and chords without an accordion in front of me. I could visualize it and play it with my hands. Not so with a chromatic accordion. And yet it's so fun to learn a new instrument that's familiar, the left hand is the exact same, and completely foreign, brand new. This alphabet, right? After 5 days of playing, about 4 hours of music, I'm starting to do it by not looking, which leads me to the next point. Learning happens differently for different people. For me, because this instrument is partially familiar, I started playing right away. I was playing incorrectly for 45 minutes. Again, I was playing with this row, which is backwards almost. It didn't make sense then, and it made sense at the 45-minute mark when someone said, "Hey, Ronan, this is the correct way of playing." Oh, these are the last 3 rows that I'm using? Oh, the outer row is row 1. Having said that, those first 45 minutes were beneficial. So everyone learns differently. It's okay to do it wrong. That's one of the key takeaways. It's okay to spend time doing it wrong. Do I wish I could go back and start with a chart that said this is the finger and this is the scale? Absolutely not. I wouldn't have fallen in love with the instrument that way. That's not how I fall in love with instruments. About falling in love, oftentimes the impetus, the thing that gets us coming back to an instrument is that falling in love process. I think we first are enamored with an instrument by hearing someone play and making it beautiful, or watching a movie where an accordion is played, like I did with the movie Amélie. Picking up the instrument, same kind of thing, making this sound. Or doing this. Playing with the different sounds. This is falling in love with the instrument. It doesn't matter if you're doing it incorrectly at first. That's part of the process. So it's a long process, and it's okay to do it wrong. Having said that, I eventually learned the correct way of doing the 15 minutes of practice, the scales, learning how to express chords on my right hand. I already knew how to do the left hand. Learning how to express triads and chord voicings and moving it around. And so every day I would play songs, because that's important for me, especially for the first 3 days. It was just purely playing with my head down. But then slowly I started to practice scales and getting my fingers just now in day 4 and 5. I'm starting to understand the flow of a scale. Just now in day 5, actually yesterday, I started to try and play with my eyes closed, by not looking. And again, I'm doing this as part of my 15 minutes of practice, doing a scale up and down. It's scary to take my eyes away from the keyboard because I play incorrect notes and my fingers are not used to the spacing yet. But it's important to start looking up from the keyboard. I already know how to play the left hand of the accordion. For you, a new accordion player, if you are a new accordion player, whether it's a piano accordion or a chromatic accordion, it's important to follow my 15 minutes of accordion practice. I'll have links at the bottom for all these free resources. It's important to learn the left hand by looking at first and then by looking away. So it's important to learn left hand separately, right hand separately, and then hands together practice. That system of practice is crucial. I'm doing it as well. I'm omitting the left hand because I understand the left hand and I can play it. But the right hand, there are moments when I'm just doing the scales by looking down and then by looking up and looking away. Ear training exercises. I think my ear is pretty good. I still need to do ear training exercises on the chromatic accordion. My ear and my hand are linked really solidly for the piano accordion. I could replicate what I hear with my right hand. On the chromatic, I need to reestablish those connections. If you're thinking about making the move from piano to chromatic, you need to do ear training again. There's my C major triad, but if you give me a... and then I take my hand away and try and do that, I'm not going to get it correct for a while. So that ear training is really important. The big lesson as well is that learning happens, there's progression this way, And I think it's going to keep going. Yesterday, 2 days ago, I played Christmas carols, and I thought today I'm going to play Christmas carols again better. And it wasn't like this. It kind of stagnated. Sometimes I might actually go backwards. I thought I could play Christmas carols today without looking down. After a few minutes, I had to look down. Let's do it with looking. So sometimes we go back and then we keep going forward. Sometimes we stagnate a little bit. Learning is like that. We try and do a little bit of improvement every time we practice. For me, practice is in maximum 15-minute chunks, more often 6 or 7-minute chunks a few times a day. But again, learning is not like this. Learning initially is like this, then there's a bit of stagnation, might go back a bit, give it time to rest, give it time to digest, and then pick up again. We have these stages of learning, and that's totally okay. I have to give this accordion back, but big takeaway for me is I'm now looking for a chromatic accordion because this is fun, this is exciting. I love learning new instruments. If a chromatic accordion comes up in my used listings on Facebook Marketplace, I'll buy one. If it's less than $800 Canadian, I'll get myself a chromatic accordion just to keep the learning going. It's such a fresh, new, fun thing that keeps me excited about music. I haven't played Christmas carols. Well, it's Christmas time. I haven't played some of the Emily songs, but those were the first songs that I started to play on the chromatic accordion. Those are my learnings. Again, I'll leave a link in the description. If you are looking to learn the chromatic accordion, I encourage you to, it's a great time to learn any instrument. You can learn the chromatic accordion while still doing Accordion Love lessons. I said it on the live stream. If we have a big pie chart of learning music, I think 15 to 20% is right hand technique. 30%, or maybe another 15 to 20% is left hand technique, the Stradella bass system. The majority of your learning, 70%, is musicality. It's how do we make something musical. You can learn the scale. This is 5 minutes of learning and years of practice. How do we make it expressive and beautiful? So whatever method you use to learn, the technical part is quite small in the right hand. Even the left hand. Again, 15 to 20% of learning. That 60 to 70% is musical. How do you put the hands together? How do you apply it to a song? And Accordion Love is great for that. You can sign up for a free 3-day trial. I hope to see you over there. Thank you.